It's alive! It's alive! Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another horrifying episode of Little Shop of Nerds. Here's your two hosts, Mike.
I'm Julia.
And they're gonna talk about a creepy, yet not so creepy tale. Alright, are you done, Crypt Keeper's like, yes, I'll go. Oh, what's wrong? This is the last for Halloween. I can't be here anymore. Yeah, we'll bring you back next year. Really? Yeah, sure, if we run out of material. You're an asshole. I know I am. Alright, y'all. Our last week's hint was...
I had to wait for a virgin to light the candle.
Which means we're going to be talking about the 1993 Hocus Pocus, starring Bette Midler, and Sarah Jessica Parker.
And Kathy...
The fat chick from
Sister
Act.
I can't remember her last name.
Sorry. Oversized woman from Sister Act. But since they made a second Hocus Pocus, she lost weight, so I give her props on that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
Huh.
Was it good?
Could be better.
Okay, well, since this is our last episode before Halloween, Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween!
So that's why we are getting ready to... That's why we're going to talk about Hocus Pocus, because you can't have Halloween without Hocus Pocus.
Mm-hmm.
Because Hocus Pocus actually takes place on Halloween.
Yep. That's true.
And so, I think most of you millennials out there, or maybe older, are probably aware of what Hocus Pocus is. Some of the younger generation probably is aware of it as well, because Freeform, which used to be ABC Family, shows it constantly during the month of October.
Yep, that's true. No, that was also another thing. It was, Fox something, then it went to ABC Family, now it's Freeform.
Yeah.
It's just never mentioned, never keeps the name.
That's probably just, the hands-up changes.
It could be. But yes, it's always on Freeform, but it's also on Disney Plus if you guys want to know.
Yeah. So we watched it on Disney Plus because I don't have cable.
I watch it.
Those.
I have satellite, but I did Disney Plus because it's easier.
Yeah. It's always easier because we don't have ads.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Don't have to what?
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, we're getting off track here. So, so today, like I said, like we said, we're gonna talk about Hocus Pocus.
Yep.
And it's about this boy who just moved to, is it Salem?
Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay, so he moves from Los Angeles to Salem, and his
name is Zach, by the way. Wait, it's
Max.
It's Max.
Max.
Zachary is named is the cat.
That's the cat, yeah.
But how it actually starts, it starts with the Sanderson sisters taking a little kid from, this is during the 1600s, during the witch trials. Oof, dark time of history.
Definitely dark time of history, yeah.
Well, either way, they took a child, her name was Emily Binks, which is Zachary Binks' younger sister. He tries to save her, got turned into a cat. She died. And what they do is they need kids to take their life force so they can be young.
I think they needed little girls mainly, wasn't it?
No, it was children. They didn't.
Children?
Yeah, just children. Didn't mention anything about gender.
Because they didn't really care about, her brother, and they were upset, at the end of the movie.
Well, I think
they couldn't have. We'll talk about that later.
Well, they could have killed Binks, but since they called them ugly, that's like an insult to.
I wonder if maybe it has something to do with the age. Maybe he was too old for them to pull out his life force.
If it's true, it wouldn't work on Max.
But they were upset when Max when they tried to take his.
Yeah, see, there's nothing. But either way, then we cut to the present. Okay, 1993 present. So we're not getting confused there.
Yeah.
So, Max was from California. His family moved to Salem. They were talking about the story in school.
He was very skeptical about it actually happening.
And, tries to get the hot girl in the class's number.
Her name's Allison, by the way.
Yeah. And, ran into the bullies and took his shoes, went home, and...
He's all pissed off, how teenagers get.
And yet, that's the only trope they use in movies nowadays is when a new kid moves to a new school.
Well, I mean, not so much now, but...
Yeah, now it's dead parents.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
It's true, because that's like a Disney formula right there.
Yeah, I mean, if the parents aren't dead... Well, I mean, because Mulan's parents weren't dead.
Okay, one rule, they'll keep one parent. It's hard. Yes, in Brave, there's two parents, but still, there's sometimes they only do one.
Mulan had two parents, too.
Yeah, but see right there? It's either 2, 1, 2, or 1.
Yeah, anyways, he was forced to take his little sister, Danny, trick-or-treating. He didn't want to. He ends up at Allison's house. Some shit happens, and they end up at the Sanderson sisters' house.
Which is turned into a museum. But it was closed because something strange was happening.
Yeah, and I thought it was just closed because it was late at night.
I think they said it was closed because something strange happened.
Maybe the electric was out.
That, or if you look at it, you could tell it was closed for a long time because of the dust and the cobwebs.
Yeah. So, anyways, they go in, and he lights a candle.
And it's called the Black and Flame Black and Light candle, which is it's a candle that's made out of the fat of a hangman. I wonder how you do that. Do you have to cut him open or take the fat? Do you have to go in the...
Mike, you're getting off topic.
I'm just wondering.
I mean, there's probably ways for them to get the fat, because then they have to melt the fat.
Yeah, but how can you melt it into wax form, though?
You melt the fat.
Whatever.
You put it in something and you melt it, and then you just make a candle out of it. You gotta dip a wick multiple times into the fat, and then it hardens, and then you have your candle.
Do we agree?
Have you never been candle making before?
No. Have you?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Then here you go. Then
it was fun.
Okay then. Okay, whatever.
Oh my God, Mike.
Hey, that's fun for you. I like other fun stuff that doesn't follow Kevin and Mickey. But then again, that is a good hobby to have, though, too.
Wow. Okay. So, anyways, he lights the candle because they placed a curse, I guess,
over the town, and what it does is they need a virgin to light the candle to bring him back. But one thing, pay attention to the candle. The flame is completely black.
Yeah.
And they come back. Hilarious shit happens here and there. And
one of my favorite parts was when they were out and about with the children, and the one, I don't know the name of the Sanderson sisters. It's the fat one.
I think, is it Mary?
Maybe I'll have to look it up. But they were outside. She's like, I can smell children, but I don't see any children.
Yeah,
because all the kids were wearing costumes. And she didn't, with them being from, the 1800s?
Yeah.
And, with this being 1993.
Oh, actually, it's 1600s.
1600s? Okay, so, from the 1600s to 1993, they didn't have the concept of Halloween the way that we do. Where we dress up in clothes, in costumes,
yep.
Hand out candy and stuff. So she's freaking out. She's like, I smell them, but I don't see them.
Oh, no, it's really funny. Even in the beginning of the movie, when she's like, I smell a child. He's like, you fool. Who is that? A child.
Yeah.
Because she could smell Zachary's scent. And Pretty much she acts like a bloodhound in the movie.
Yeah, like she seems to have. I mean, that might be
the quirkiness of her.
Not her her quirk, but maybe like her. That's like her power.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to say I'm being mean because she's a witch. No, because she really does bark in the movie, and
she does bark. Yeah,
she barks and growls and sniff like a bloodhound. So before y'all put hating comments in there, no, watch the movie. She actually acts like a dog.
Yeah. Okay, so we got Winifred, Sarah, and Mary. So her name was probably most likely Mary. Then Sarah Jessica Parker's character was Sarah, and then of course Bette Midler's was Winifred. So, and then they go to, I think it's like the principal's or somebody's house, and he's dressed up as the devil.
Oh, it was just a random guy.
And was it just a random guy?
I think it was a random guy because I don't think it was a principal, and that was played by Gary Marshall.
Okay, he passed away, a few years ago.
I think so. If you guys don't know who Gary Marshall is, he's the guy who made some of your favorite rom-coms. What was it? Did he do Runaway Bride?
I don't know, but I know that he did direct The Princess Diaries.
Yep, that, and he did some other works. I think he was also in... Could have been in Happy Days, but I could be wrong.
Like, I know that his voice sounded very familiar, but I didn't realize it was Gary Marshall.
Yeah.
So, but, anyways, they're in his house, and they're, like, worshiping him, basically, because, they're witches, and apparently they worship Satan. And his wife was getting all upset because she caught him dancing with Sarah, which Sarah, out of all of them, Sarah's the pretty one. Because she was also flirting with the bus driver.
Yeah. You know what? She was also flirting with a couple of guys who were, like, in their... Like say when... What, Max? She's like, I'm like... lady, I think you might want to wait till he's, like, 21.
Yeah, but then again, in the 1600s...
Yeah, but still, it's... I'm 16. I was talking about 1993. What
yeah, I know, but she's from the 1600s.
I get it, but it's like...
She doesn't have, they didn't have age of consent back in the 1600s.
Yeah, I know how fucked up that is during that era.
I mean, Japan's was 13 up until just recently.
Well, yeah, that's true. But there's also some more funny parts I liked about the movie was the guy who plays Billy, the zombie. The zombie Billy.
The zombie, yeah.
And if you guys don't know who Billy is, you'll find out in the movie. They said he was Winifred's boyfriend, lover, but he had a thing for Sarah.
I think he slept with Sarah.
Could have been, but they poisoned, like Winifred poisoned him,
yeah, and
sewed his mouth shut so he wouldn't tell a secret in death. But when you watch the second one, that's a wholly different ball game. But like I said, I'm not going to talk about the second one until maybe next year.
Yeah, so, yeah, but I felt bad for Billy because he did get his fingers, like, when the bus ran over and his fingers came off. Like, I felt bad for him. I was like, oh, poor zombie.
Yeah, and it's true. And the funny part is where he takes Max's knife, cuts open the stitches, and he shouts out obscenities. He's like, "You buck-tooth witch from hell." Oh, yeah. And he's like, I waited for centuries to say that.
Yeah, it was at the end because he decided to help the kids instead of kill them. And, like, okay, so at one point in the movie, we're getting ahead of ourselves. At one point in the movie, they did think that they defeated the Sanderson sisters because they got them into the school, and I think into the kiln in the art room.
Yep.
And kind of like set them on fire.
And which it did not work, and they came back to life. And even before that, there's a scene. They actually do a musical number.
Yes.
They do that song, I Put a Spell on You.
Mm-hmm.
And Max's parents is there. Max and Danny's parents are there. I think the dad's dressed up like as a vampire.
Yeah, as Dracula, because he made the dad joke. Oh, don't you mean Dadcula?
Because he's like wearing what would a dad would wear, like just wearing pajamas, and you get the point.
Yeah.
And you get their mom was dressed up as Madonna, or like 1980s Madonna with the
cone boobs.
I'm like, why did Madonna think that was hot back then?
I mean, back in the 80s, that was probably something that they...
Yeah, but don't forget the 90s fashion trends were like...
I did see something about costumes, and 90s clothes are now this year's costumes.
Oh, great. Let me guess. We're going to dress up as a Blockbuster employee.
No, no, it was like the windbreaker outfits.
Oh my god!
And there was a boy band.
Oh come on, that's our windbreaker outfit. That was just a style.
Yeah, it's costumes nowadays.
All right, get back on the topic here. We're drifting.
Anyway, so what happens is after they get them into the kiln, it would have been fine if they hadn't opened up the book.
Well, I think what happened is they didn't. You're right. If they didn't open up the book,
yeah, because if they didn't have they had to suck out Danny's life force before dawn in order for them to be back completely. But since they didn't get her life force, so if they hadn't opened up that book and waited until dawn, they would have been fine.
Yeah, that's true. There's also say even if it wasn't just Danny, I think they did that because it was personal.
Mm-hmm.
So they followed the book. They took Danny. Then after they took Danny, take her back to the cottage. That's when we get this little sequence where Sarah Jessica Parker sings the song "Come Little Children," and I'm like, sounds like a nice song, but it sounds really creepy.
Yeah, because that was actually enchanting the children to come to their cottage.
Even if it wasn't enchanted, it's just the lyric sounds creepy.
Yeah, it was a little creepy. Come on, this was the 90s, so...
Yeah, then again, we weren't really PC back then. We were, but we didn't give a shit.
Yeah. So, anyways, they enchant the children to come to their cottage. They, Max and Allison get into, I think, Max's parents' car and drive to the cottage to save Danny.
And they tricked them. They got the book. And they also got the bullies in the weird...
Oh, yeah, they put the bullies in these cages.
That's hung up on the ceiling. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
But also pay attention when they fly on their brooms. They did have brooms.
Yeah, they did have brooms, but when they went to the one guy's house dressed as a devil, they left their brooms outside, and some kids stole them.
And so what they do is Winifred took a regular broom.
Yeah.
Sarah took a mop, and Mary takes a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah.
And, they pursued the chase, and...
They end up back into the cemetery.
And also, the one thing about the cemetery, Zachary Binks mentions, this is, saying that they can't touch witches can't touch hollow ground.
Yeah, it says that at the beginning of the movie, when they first go to the cemetery, he says that they would be safe there because witches couldn't touch hallowed ground, but they were able to.
I know, right? Yeah, that's... But there was a part where Bing says, you said they can't touch here. He's like, well, they can't. And that's when they bring back Billy. But either way, it's true, because they were fighting with the witches. Max got the file of the...
Yeah, because when they saved Danny, they pushed the cauldron over, but there was just enough for a vial of the potion, and that's what they were going to give Danny so they could take her life force.
But one thing is, why she only want Danny is because they called her ugly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, don't. It's like, it's really hard not to be mean, but it's like I said, Burt Miller's not a bad woman.
Yeah.
So I think it's just has the play on of a joke. So
yeah.
So in one way, so.
Anyways, so she goes to give Danny the potion, but instead Max manages to get a hold of it and he drinks it. So then they're forced to turn on him, and they try to suck his life force out, but they don't get to it in time. And Winifred turns, the sun rises, so dawn hits. Winifred turns into a statue. The other two explode.
Well, here's the thing. Like say, what happened is when it was just Winifred trying to suck out his life force.
Mm-hmm.
So Max just moves around, knock her off. They reach the hollow ground, and she tries, but then, it's true that Mary and Sarah, they turn into dust. But that's just another thing. Why was, Winifred was turned into a statue? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of wondering, is it the effect of not just the sun rising, but also her being on hollow ground, turn her into a statue?
It's possible, yeah, because then after Max got himself free, she exploded as well.
Yeah, see right there, because even Mary and Sarah exploded, but yet they didn't turn into statues. Mm-hmm. Only Winifred. I'm wondering it's the mixture between being on the cemetery ground plus the sun rising.
It's possible, yeah.
It could be, but
I mean that actually would make sense because did the other two ever touch the ground?
No, they never did.
Never did? Okay.
But that's just it. We don't know. It's a theory, but and also guys, if you have a theory on that scene, give us a comment in the
leave it in the comments below.
And but like I said, I don't know. It could be either. Like I said, they never touched the ground. Only Winifred. Maybe it's just something they never explained.
Maybe it could have just been a plot hole
that we don't know about.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're pretty much at the end of the movie at that point.
And when the credits are ready to end, the parents are done dancing for the night because Winifred put Winifred, Mary, and Sarah, they put a spell on them to dance for it. Did they die? But after they die, they stop. So.
Yeah, because their spell is broken. Anyways, I think at that point, Max and Allison ended up in a relationship, ended up together.
And before it ends, Binks finally died.
Yeah.
Because after the whole film, he can't die because of his curse.
Yeah, which we didn't explain that at the beginning, but Binks had a curse placed on him
which he turned
as a cat, but he would live forever.
Yep, and when the witches died, the curse was lifted. He was allowed to go in the afterlife with his sister, and we get that iconic line saying she asked what took him so long. It's like, sorry, Emily, I had to wait 3,000 years for
300 years.
300 years for a virgin to light the candle.
Yeah. Oh, there was one scene before they went to the town hall to find their parents. They ran into a guy who was dressed up as a police officer.
Yes.
And he was. They were telling him yeah, virgin. My brother lit the candle, and he's a virgin. And he the guy pulls him aside, and he's like, "Are you really a virgin?" And he's like, "Are you serious?" And so they just walked off.
And it turns out he wasn't really a cop at all.
He was just dressed up as a cop,
which is totally illegal.
Well, I mean, Halloween costumes, you can't dress up as a cop.
But either way, it's still...
He's kind of impersonating.
Well, either way, it's still funny. But it's I'm if you want to do a drinking game, take many shots, see how long,
See how many times they say virgin?
Yeah. And I don't know how long it would take you to get drunk, but here's the thing: if you do that, drink responsibly, please.
Definitely drink responsibly. And make sure you're, old enough to drink.
And also make sure you're at home, not driving.
Yeah, and if you are a recovering alcoholic or whatever,
go to AA.
Well, obviously, but don't drink. We don't want to compromise
and also call your sponsor.
Yeah, we don't want to compromise your recovery.
Yep.
So, just, a fun thing.
Yeah, it's just that. And, man, I can go for a couple of shots of whiskey.
I mean, we've got alcohol here if you want to.
I
gotta drive home.
I gotta drive home.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, the spell's broken. Binks is able to go to the afterlife, and that's pretty much it.
And there, pretty much.
I actually wonder, because they did, explode Max's room when they kidnapped Danny. So it makes me wonder, what is he going to tell his parents?
If, in my opinion, right, if you get a branch, put it against where a big branch enough that makes it look like it came through the roof, maybe you can get away with that.
Maybe. I don't know, but there's also salt all over his room as well.
They said salt could... It did kind of work.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Because... What was it? Allison threw salt at Mary. She's like...
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. There's really nothing else we can really talk about with the movie.
I would give it since it's... I love the movie, but it's also got its problems here or there. But you could tell the three, the actors who played, especially Bette Midler. I don't know why I keep saying Bert.
I don't either.
Well, either way, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and the other one, you can tell they're having fun with their roles, and you can tell it's... So, I recommended to watch it on Halloween. It's a good family film, and I give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah,
I pretty much give it an 8 out of 10, too.
And I would just say, have fun with it. It's on Disney Plus, if you got Disney Plus. If not, watch it on Freeform, but
if you got Freeform.
And also Disney Plus. If you want to sponsor us, give us some free shit, we'll do it for you.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Come on, everyone who works for Disney is pretty much a whore anyway.
That's true. So, anyways, that is it for this episode.
Yep, and like I said, this is our Halloween episode, though. We're going to be back with our November. And pretty much, yes, this whole month we've been talking about movies. We only talked about one anime so far.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get back to our regular scheduled program. Watch some anime here and there. And maybe we can talk about some music down the line, but I don't know.
I mean, that might be a little difficult to talk about.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe we'll talk about some musicals down the line.
Maybe, yeah. We haven't really talked about any musicals except for Chicago.
Maybe we can do a thing on Newsies, because that's also on Disney Plus. Because it has the 1993 movie plus the Broadway version.
Okay. Getting off topic here.
But either way, like I said, comment, subscribe. We are at 15 subscribers.
16.
No, we're at 15.
Oh, we're at 15?
Yeah, somehow I don't know what happened to that 16.
Oh, okay. Well, we're at 15 subscribers.
Which means we need 85 more subscribers, and we'll reveal our vases. We will cosplay. I'm going to be Tsunade. She's going to be Gordon from Black Clover. What do you think? I'll be like an ugly woman.
I think you'd probably be prettier than me.
You can put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig.
Okay, well, next week's hint is go ahead and live with your head held high.
And
that would be it. So,
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Stay safe and watch out for Richard Blades and candy.
Yeah, and don't be lighting any candles if you're a virgin. Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.